Greetings, I present to you the SMK, the Sentinel's Marvellous Kaleidoscope, on CFRU 93.3 FM in Guelph, Ontario, through the web on CFRU.ca, and syndicating across Canada. I am your guardian overseer, Nicholas Cooper. We will be looking inward and beyond along the branches of progressive, fusion, and alternative genres, an anomaly of pleasance incarnated, and other unique discoveries near and far. Join me as we gaze into the audible lens out at the diverse musical landscape on the ever-changing horizon. Welcome to an audience far from the observational tower, my good sentries. This interview series that I've been doing here on the Sentinel's Marvellous Kaleidoscope, doing long-distance communications with artists during this prolonged period caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I have a massive spectacular pleasure in introducing today's guest, the premier plez-rock entity, Falcon Jane, aka Sara May. Hey, Sara.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good myself. I'm excited to do this talk with you today.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Should be good.
Yeah. Like we were saying before starting that we have known each other for quite a while now, but we haven't really connected mutually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've listened to your interviews with Juarez or Andrew MacArthur and Sages, and did you do something with Animatus too, or did they just come in and do a performance on CFRU? I think.
Yes, they were on the show doing the same thing with Sages and Juarez.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Those were our mutual friends where we have known each other, but just recently we got hooked up with having you on the show now. It's coming full circle.
Yes.
So how are you doing today, Sara?
I'm doing okay. Yeah. Up and down. Yeah. My moods kind of change by like 15-minute intervals, it seems. So yeah, up and down, but it's been an all right day.
Oh, awesome. I think that is now a natural pattern with everyone right now. Where are you calling from, by the way?
From Orangeville. Yeah.
Is that where you've lived like forever?
Yeah, like I live outside of Orangeville in a place called Hockley. And yeah, I've lived there, switched houses a bit, but lived there basically since I was 10. And before that I lived just like kind of up the road in a different district, but just like 10 minutes from where I live now. So yeah, pretty much lived my whole life in the same area, besides living in Toronto for like 5 years when I was going to school.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, I guess you've really been attached to Orangeville. It has a sense. Does it have a special essence for you?
It does. I like it as a town generally, but I've found that really it's the community of people that I have here that makes it special. I mean, there's nothing super special about the town. Like, I mean, there is, but really what makes it feel like home is like having close friends here. And, my mom lives here and has a business here, and having like a musical community here, like drawing bandmates from the community. It's really awesome. And there's a lot of really talented musicians in Orangeville. And yeah, quite a good, I don't know, music scene, but sometimes it's like goes down and sometimes it comes up in terms of like how active it is, right?
Yeah, like I'm actually surprised to hear that there's, like, I guess by how you're describing it, a pretty strong, I guess, tight-knit community for music there.
There can be. Like it goes, it ebbs and it flows, right? Sometimes it feels like no one is playing music and no one is getting together, and sometimes it feels like you can't keep up with it all. Like there's so many shows, or not so many shows, but like there's always something going on every weekend, and everyone's being really creative. And then sometimes it just feels like you're all alone in this small town and there's nothing to do. But I think, I don't know, maybe that's normal. I've lived here, I've been back living here for like 6 years now. So over the course of those 6 years, it's felt really strong knit community, and then it's felt really loose knit community, and then back and forth sort of thing. Yeah.
I guess it's reassuring then there are those low points, and then I guess there's maybe an assurance that there'll be something coming up eventually.
Yeah. Is it that way in Guelph, would you say? Like, does it kind of ebb and flow like that? Or is it, because Guelph's got a great music scene from what I can tell, and there's tons of great venues there, but does it sometimes feel like there's nothing going on?
Well, for me is a special case because my main activities seem to be in Guelph, but I'm actually living in Mississauga.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have like an outsider kind of view. I think there's always something compared to Mississauga going on in Guelph. And that's why I really like, Guelph as a music city and gravitate towards Guelph as a very open, like accepting and just like diverse music scene.
Totally. I didn't know you were in Mississauga. But that's cool. And yeah, Guelph does seem to always have something going on, but I'm an outsider there as well. Like, so every time I go there, I'm like, whoa, check it out. But I'm sure it feels different to live there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I actually started this in my last interview, asking these funny questions, based on Monty Python. I don't know if you're a fan of that. Kind of.
I haven't seen a whole bunch of them, but yeah.
So, what is your current quest in life, and what is your favorite color?
Okay, I think I get this reference. It's like, what is your favorite color, right? That's how he says it, I think. Yeah, okay. And what is your quest? My current quest in life, something that I think about pretty much every day is like how to stay calm and happy. So I've been experimenting with a bunch of different things, like going for walks. I even experimented with jogging, which I'd never done before. CBD oil, I've been taking a lot of that. Just trying all these different like brain tricks, trying to stay calm. I typically, I think, have a hard time with that as a person, and then throw a healthy heaping of pandemic on top of that, and just kind of enhance. So that's my current quest, and my favorite color. I don't know. I just love so many of them. Like, I love pink and I love purple, but I also love orange and turquoise and blue. So it's so hard to choose. Maybe I'll go with pink, because like a really good pink is like beautiful, you know, like a salmon pink.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that the calming quest is very essential right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said purple. Purple's a good color as well. I like purple a lot.
Yeah, is that your favorite, would you say?
Yeah, it's my current favorite color. Like, it's red, purple, but yeah, pink's good as well. Bright pink.
Yes.
So you did mention, the main calming quest, but now I want to dig more into that with a COVID-19 pandemic check-in. I guess we're almost approaching a year now of this pandemic. I guess it's 8 months exactly around.
Yeah, 8, 9, something. Who's counting?
So how have you been so far? How have you been surviving this rapid uncertainty that's the pandemic, like mentally and like health-wise?
Not too great. I'm not thriving. It's not an ideal scenario for me, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to stay positive and trying to stay calm, like I said, but it's just not a scenario I would thrive in. And you know, when stressful things like this happen to me, my outlet has always been like performing and playing music, and having that being taken away as well is doubly as hard, you know? So I'm not doing the best I've ever done, but I'm okay. Like, I don't want to complain, and I know I'm I'm healthy as far as I can tell, and yeah, so trying to stay positive, but like I said, it's not the greatest thing. I don't know. How have you been doing? What's your life like right now?
Think I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get by day to day and trying to do positive work and like hobbies that like get me motivated, because sometimes like especially now with us getting into the winter, it's very um hard to get motivated. It's like very dreary outside and energy gets sucked out. And when you put on now COVID and having the like for I don't think I don't think Orangeville is part of Peel, but we're in a lockdown. So that
Yes,
just adds a different like shroud of negativity. So
totally. Yeah.
yeah, so
And the darkness. It's crazy. Like, it seems like this year, and I know people say this probably every single year, but it seems like this year it's getting darker earlier than any other year. It's like 4 o'clock, it's like pitch black. And I don't know if it's just like my attitude or something, but yeah, the darkness isn't helping, because like you don't even want to go outside anymore to like go for a walk or anything. You don't even have the time to do it. So
yeah, it's like we were walking the dog actually before I came on with you,
mm-hmm.
and it was already totally pitch dark, and I'm always afraid that a car is gonna like accidentally hit us just on the sidewalk.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
well, that's the negative part of living in a city.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did talk about strategies that you've been trying to get by at this time. Do you want to describe and dig a little more into, or give us more insight into those strategies?
One thing that I have been finding very helpful, that I was listening to a podcast about anxiety, and the person on the podcast said, like, think about the thoughts that you're having when you go into like a state of anxiety. And like, if you can really zero in on those thoughts, often for me, it's like, I'm going to die, or like, everybody hates me, or like, this really awful thing is going to happen. And they're like kind of underlying thoughts, that trigger, like, that really feed the anxiety, right? And feed the fear. And if you can just like catch those thoughts and realize that the anxiety that you're having is just like a reaction to those negative thoughts. It's not coming out of nowhere. You're actually like feeding it with your own brain, and you can just try to change those thoughts and like really like say to yourself, like, everything is okay. Like, I'm doing fine. It can actually like help you get through a state of fear or anxiety. So I found that very helpful. And obviously being outside, I live out in the country, so I'm lucky. I have like a nice backyard and I can just go for a walk, and that does really help. Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to go for a walk in lockdown, but I hope so. Well, you walked your dog,
Yeah,
so yeah.
We're still allowed to like walk around the neighborhood,
Yeah.
but being in the suburbs, that is kind of limiting, I guess, with where you can go. And then you see the same thing every day. But I bet, like, for you, that you can change your course being in a rural area.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, it's just so nice to like get grounded again. And that's how I have to do it. It's just like go outside and look at the trees, look at the grass. Yeah, get my feet wet.
Yeah, feel some nature and natural essence.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that point about trying to like alter your negative thoughts resonates with me, because I know I have some issue with self-confidence or self-esteem. So like, because also like people do care about you, even though we have not been able to see a lot of our friends or family at this time. So like, it's also just a matter of just reaching out with like the technology we have now.
Yeah, totally. Pick up the phone and call someone. Get off social media and pick up the phone and call someone, because social media is like gonna make you feel bad.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, I use it all the time, but it makes you feel bad. So
Too much reliance.
Yeah, exactly.
Has there been any discoveries of new hobbies, skills, or interests, or developing current ones at this time?
Not really. I've been so focused on releasing the album, which has been really nice to have that project to kind of work on. So I haven't really had the time to develop new hobbies, but I'm thinking that this winter I probably will. I like to paint, so I'll probably get pretty big into painting. My partner, Andrew, who you know, he got really big into mountain biking this summer, which was like brand new for him. And it was super exciting to watch that happen, because he just got like super into it. And like, I wish I could have gotten into that with it, but I'm just not that type of person. So that's been cool to see that. And for myself, like I cook, which is really fulfilling for me, and it calms me down as well. And that's it really. I can't think of anything else. Watching a lot of TV, which isn't good for my brain, but it helps me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just maintaining what you have is like good, because you don't want to lose anything like during this time. It's, I guess, it is easy now to lose some things from not doing it, like not being able to do it like out there.
Totally.
Yeah, like I think that's a good thing too, to try and do some painting. What kind of medium or medium would you want to just try and try?
Like in painting?
Yeah.
I usually paint with acrylics, but I did do like pretty much my first oil painting ever the other day, and it was really fun. So I might switch to oils. I really like them. So, but I typically do acrylics. Yeah.
Well, congrats. Yeah,
Thank
you've already started.
Yeah, there we go. I know, and I really liked it. It was like so fun to do that. So yeah, hopefully over the winter I can do some more oil painting.
Yeah, awesome. And you can use it for your new albums in the future.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
So let's now talk about, I guess broadly now, Falcon Jane. Who is Falcon Jane? I know it's you, but I'm just asking as a general thing. So why don't you, yes. Who is this being?
I don't know. Like, I could get trippy about it, or I could just be straight up about it. Like, it could just be like a moniker for me, like a nickname or whatever, a stage name. But really, like, I think that Falcon Jane is like some sort of like voice within me, like maybe some sort of like truer part of myself, some less like guarded part of myself. Feels like she's like the core within me. Like, she's the same shape as me, but she's like much smaller and lives inside of me. Because like I feel like when I write songs, it's coming from a bit of a different voice than just my regular speaking voice. Like the way that I talk is very different than the way that I sing. Like, yeah, the patterns that I use in my speech. So that's who I think she is.
So it's pretty much, you're saying, is like an alter ego that you can step into and maybe express things that you might not normally express. Yeah,
alter ego or inner ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah, inner ego.
Yeah,
would be better. I guess speaking of that, you're talking and speaking. I don't know if you probably have gotten comments, but when I first heard one of your tracks from the last album, that Sage's, like after her audience feature, she co-hosted with me and played one of your songs. you sound almost like pretty much exactly like Emily Haynes of Metric.
Oh, really?
Have you gotten that comment before?
A few times, yeah. People used to say I look like her too, but it's just like my cheekbones. I don't think I look like her at all, but and when I was blonder maybe, but yeah, a couple of people have said that my voice sounds like her, but never like exactly like her. But that's cool. I love Emily Haynes. She's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's mainly the voice, and I think like the intonation that you sometimes sing at. But I like from hearing your new album, Faith, I think there is more. I can hear more of the divergentness of between you two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
So where did Falcon Jane, that name, come from? Its origins.
I really always liked the name Jane. I thought it was a really nice name, and I kind of wish it was my name, but it's not. So, and I also liked it because it was kind of almost like an every woman name. You know, when you hear of like Plain Jane or like Jane Doe or like Dick and Jane, that sort of thing. It kind of was for a period of time this name that kind of like it was like the John Smith of, I guess, name. So I like that about it, and then the Falcon part just kind of like came to me one day. I was like walking down Queen Street in Toronto, and I said Falcon Jane out loud, and I was like, hey, that sounds pretty nice. I'm gonna go with that. It just sounded right, like coming out of my mouth.
Oh, so Falcon came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like essentially nowhere. I don't have like a specific connection to the bird or anything. Yeah, it just was. I don't know. It just came. Yeah,
it's from your inner voice.
From Falcon herself. She spoke it.
So when did you start using your moniker? Like when did you start composing?
Around like 2011, 2012. I'd been going to a lot of open mics back then, and I just felt like my name, Sara May, was too common. If someone like saw me at an open mic and looked up Sara May, like I didn't feel like they'd be able to find me. So I wanted a name that was a bit more unique and like Googleable or whatever. I remember Googling Falcon Jane and nothing was coming up. So I was like, awesome. And so I would go to these open mics, and I just started when I was like 18 or so, like writing Falcon Jane down on the list, the sign-up list, instead of Sara May. And then that was kind of it. And then I released a album in 2012, and I released it under Falcon Jane, and the rest is history. And it's obviously evolved since then, what Falcon Jane is and means, but that was the beginning of it.
Yeah, so like being, I guess it's mainly your compositions, but you have also had a band backing you, at least for your live shows. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. Falcon Jane has been many different bands, formations of people, and I also like using it instead of Sara May because I think it opens up the opportunity for more collaboration, because you can be part of Falcon Jane, but it's a little bit harder to be part of Sara May, and you can like lend your own, coming in as a band member to it, you can lend your own voice to the Falcon Jane like project, the Falcon Jane vision, and it feels less like, as much as Falcon Jane is my project, it feels less control-y or like personal than it would if it was just called Sara May. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a band. It is a band. It's a project. That's all I can really say, because the people are constantly coming in and going out. So, yeah.
What are some notable collaborators and members that you've had throughout the years?
Well, Andrew MacArthur has been with me in Falcon Jane since I met him, which was back in like 2014. He joined the band, which has been great, and he's stuck it through the whole way and has been on every song and every album since then. So that's been great. Sages was part of the band for a couple of years, which was amazing. It was so fun to have another female in the band, and we sang so much together, and it was like really great bonding experience for us as people, and I think growing experience for both of us as musicians. And yeah, other people smattered in here and there, coming and going. Orangeville people, in and out. Pretty much everyone in Orangeville has been in the band at some point.
Oh,
Every
cool.
musician in Orangeville. Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Most recently, we were playing with Andrew Collins, who you know, I think he's a Guelph guy. AMC Gremlin, he's awesome. He was playing drums with us for a little bit before the pandemic, and then we only got to play one show together, and then COVID hit, so haven't really seen him since. But yeah.
Andrew Collins has helped with a few of these audience features, the live in studio before COVID hit. I miss him very much, assisting with these. I miss a lot of people.
Yeah, me too. I miss him a lot too.
Here's a question that I don't think I've ever asked, but it's a very big question. Why are you making music at all? At all?
I think I just need to. I think my head would pop off if I didn't, quite honestly. There's too much inside of me that music helps get out for me to not do it. I would just be a mess, and this pandemic has proved that to me. Because I went a few months without playing music at all. Like, I was barely even picking up my guitar, going to the piano or anything, because I guess I'm a pretty goal-oriented person. So when I have a show, or when I have a band to train, or we're writing songs together or whatever, there's a purpose to doing it. But without that purpose, without the shows, without the band, I wasn't drawn to pick up the guitar. I didn't write a song for months, which was so weird for me, because I'm usually just constantly writing. And not constantly writing, sometimes I write a lot, sometimes I write a little, but I'm usually always writing something. And it was really hard, and I went a little bit stir crazy, and I became very emotional, and I was crying about things I shouldn't have been crying about. And so I think I really need music to help me be human.
That was a fabulous answer, and I think it's true for a lot of musicians. And I also agree with you on goal-oriented, because I think I'm also that way as well. If I don't have an end goal to work on, my mind is disorganized of how to or what to do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it could be an album or a recording of some kind or whatever, but I always need to be working towards something, I think.
Yes, well, thank you for that answer.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Let us now talk about a special style of music that you've self-coined yourself, plez-rock. It was introduced to me through Sage's when she played your music on the co-hosting about a year ago. Obviously, it's quite a new style, so why don't you describe to us in your own words the official definition of plez-rock?
Well, plez-rock is just short for pleasant rock. So to me, it's just pleasant music that's got a bit of a harder edge to it, chill, groovy, but it's got a bit of a bite. You know what I mean? Which I think suits music I make pretty well. I didn't really know how else to describe it, because saying that it's indie rock is basically saying that it could be anything, right? So I wanted a more specific word, and pleasant seemed to be the word that came up.
So as part of your sound in plez-rock, what are the inspirational artists and current styles that have influenced you?
I had a lot of influence from big classic bands like ABBA and Fleetwood Mac. I've been really into them lately. I probably should have been into them a lot sooner in my life, but I just kind of figured out how amazing they are recently. And then more like indie musicians like Sharon Van Etten or Julia Jacklin, and Angel Olsen and that sort of thing. Those are all like people I listen to like all the time, and I just love them. And I think they're like pretty pleasant, like they're pretty chill, but they've got like they've got, I don't know, something deep, very deep to the chillness.
Like a more thematic or a deeper meaning behind the songs instead of like the usual simple pop stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
To be relieved, gotta just stay
So why don't we now continue and talk about your main release that you've just put out into the world, the full-length album Faith, that came out, luckily, I guess, on Friday the 13th of November this year. I hope nothing went bad with the release.
No, it was actually really nice, the release. I baked myself a cake and bought myself some champagne, and I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th until like the day before. One of my friends, like messaged me being like, "Ooh, Friday the 13th, extra spooky," and I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't even realize that." But 13's always been like a good number for me. My house number is 13. I shouldn't tell people that, but anyway. Oh. But yeah, it's just I thought it was a good number and it worked. So.
Oh, you like chose that date just because of the number? Like you liked it?
Well, no, like my label chose the date, and I just said yes. Like we were bouncing around between the 20th and the 13th, and then eventually they just said the 13th, and I was like, okay, and then kind of attributed meaning to it afterwards.
Awesome. I guess, why don't you speak to us about your label? Have you just joined them recently?
I joined that label kind of halfway through releasing Feeling Freaky. So I had released Go With The Flow, which was the first single from that album. And then Nick, the owner of the label, had heard it. And we were playing a show in Guelph at Brothers Brewery. And he drove up from Pittsburgh. This was back in like 2018. Drove up from Pittsburgh to Guelph to come see us play. And then saw us play and was like, yeah, you guys are good. You should join my label. And I was like, okay. And so then he did help with the release of Feeling Freaky, but it was all kind of already in motion at that point. But this album, Faith, like we really worked on together, and he was on board since I started recording, like just offering really helpful insight and making a plan for the future. And it's been really great to work with Darling Recordings. Nick is amazing. Super supportive and kind person.
Yeah, they've been really behind like your music and the type of music that you compose.
Oh yeah. Very, just lets me do whatever I want. I mean, like there's no, maybe not whatever I want, but Nick is just great. And I was talking to him yesterday, and this is like insider information, but I'll share it anyway. I was like, I think my next album's going to be country, and like it's not a country label at all, but I've just been like really into country music lately. And he was like, great. I was like, yeah, is that okay with you? And he was like, yep, perfect, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. And so that was cool to hear. I mean, there's no guarantee that he'll want to work with me on it, but so far so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask, what kind of label is Darling Recordings? Like, what kind of music do they usually feature?
All kinds. They have some like kind of singer-songwriter people like me, like Stone and Nora Petran, but then they've got some really experimental music on there too, and also hip hop and all kinds of alternative rock sort of thing. So it's pretty I don't know, well balanced, I guess, or various.
Yeah, wide ranging and eclectic, it sounds like.
Yes, wide ranging, that's the word I was looking for.
And they're based in Pittsburgh, you said? In
Pittsburgh, I think so. Or no, I think it's Pittsburgh. Sometimes I say Pennsylvania, and sometimes I say Philadelphia, but I think Pennsylvania is the state, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Cool. Yes. So Pittsburgh.
Or I guess I should ask, like, why, I guess, did you go with an American label instead of a Canadian one? Was it just they offered to represent you at the time? Exactly.
There wasn't a ton of other offers on the table. So, I just got a really good vibe from Nick. Like, he drove all the way to Guelph to come see us and across the border. And
that's dedication.
He just seemed super down to earth. And you know, he's very fair when it comes to how he treats his artists. And yeah, it's been good. And it's kind of cool to have someone in America. Like, I would love to have a Canadian label or whatever. I'm not saying that I don't want a Canadian one, but having an American one has been really interesting because he has like a whole different perspective of everything. Like Canada, I think we feel really big here and we feel really like important. But we're so small and like we're such a small country. We're huge in terms of our geographical size, but in terms of population, like we're quite small. I'm not going to say we're insignificant because we're not, but like in terms of a global scale, like I think we feel like we're way more important than we are. I don't know. I'm saying stuff that I don't necessarily mean, but like he just has that kind of American insider intel. Like he knew about COVID long before I did. And when he told me about it, I was like, what? How, like, how, what? No, that's not going to affect me. And he's like, trust me, it's going to affect you. I was like, that's not possible. And then the following week, I was like, oh yes, that is possible. Yeah. So I just think like it's interesting to have someone on that side of the border with their connections, right? I've got my connections in Canada and he's got his connections in the States.
Yeah, pretty much opens up your access to more listeners and new fans.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. So has there been a happy response, or have you been happy with the response of the album so far? Like it's been, I guess, almost 2 weeks since it's released?
Yeah, tomorrow I guess will be 2 weeks, right? Let me check the date. Oh yes, tomorrow is 2 weeks. Wow. It feels like it's been out forever. It feels like it's been out for an entire year because I've been listening to it for so long. I've been very happy with the response. A lot of people have been liking it and sending me messages and, you know, streaming it, buying it, which is great. Yeah, I can't complain. Everything's been going very well.
Yeah, I've been seeing like on your website, like at least for the music videos for some of your tracks, it's gotten lots of publicity from online music blogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think I saw that you got your first review from, was it Exclaim?
Yes. Yeah, that was exciting. I've been trying to get Exclaim to write an article about me for a long time. And they finally did. So, yeah, that was great. And they were really kind. So, yeah, it was good.
Awesome. So, how was this album recorded and how long did it take for its creation?
Andrew and I recorded the entire album, pretty much the entire album except for one song, in my living room. Just us two and like one microphone. And then we worked with Evan Gordon, who's also a Guelph guy, and he mixed the whole thing and he added a bunch of like textures and everything to the music and really brought the songs to life. And it took a long time to record because I didn't have like a set plan. Like at first when I started, I had 3 songs that I wanted to do, and then I added 3 more songs, and then I added 1 more song, and then I added 3 more songs. So I started in February 1st, pretty much of 2019. And I finished recording in like September, October of that same year. So I really got to take my time with it and just, you know, let inspiration strike naturally.
Yes. Like, I guess we can speak about that now because the album, from what you've given us on, online, it's different from your previous works, at least from what I understand it to be. Like it's based on lots of like tragedy, I would say. Is that, you want to tell us more about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of deaths in my family last year, and it kind of propelled the album forward in a way that I didn't really know how else to deal with death other than to write music and play music. And so some of the songs were written like halfway through that year, and they were just what I needed to write at the time. And, I started recording the album as a result of my grandmother passing away. It just kind of like triggered something in me that I thought, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to start, I'm not going to wait any longer. And then with every kind of person that passed away after that, it just made me want to like keep going and try harder and do better and take myself more seriously and like stop waiting for life and just like do it, and I was also like going through a lot emotionally. So creatively, I was writing a lot still throughout the year.
Yeah, like tragedy, like deaths is very complicated, but also like having that music outlet is great therapeutic process.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
You would agree?
Yeah, music is my therapy. Yeah. It's the only one I got, really. Maybe painting too. Oil painting.
Yeah. I guess digging more into that album description, like I saw it on your Bandcamp page. Part of this as well is, I guess you said like you're going back to the beginning. Is what do you mean by that? Like, are you trying to here I wrote down. Are you trying to is this album like a musical journey of self-discovery for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the themes that I was writing about in the album were about faith, and faith in various things, faith as a religious concept, but also faith in myself and faith in the way that I was feeling. And I had all these belief systems built up. I grew up as in a religious kind of childhood, and I thought a certain thing about myself. I believed myself to be a certain way, and I believed my feelings to be coming from a certain place. And then through going through like some hard times and writing these songs, I think I was able to reassess those belief systems and break them down in a way in order to build new ones, or build ones that felt more real to me. Like, who am I? What do I believe about myself? I'm not going to abide by these old belief systems that I used to have. I want to get to know myself again, and I need to kind of break things down in order to build them back up.
All right. So is that also, I guess, part of because you described it as experimental, is that like kind of part of that experimental nature of faith?
Yeah, but it wasn't like planned. Like, I don't plan to do any of this stuff. I do it, and then I realize what I was doing after, right? So I'd written all these songs, and then I kind of had the 10 songs and was listening to them going like, what is this album about? Like, what was I thinking during all this? And that kind of theme, or that kind of motivation became clear to me, that I think that's what I was doing, because I did hit a lot of low points last year, and but I came out of it, and I came out of it with this like beautiful piece of art. So that must have meant something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Trying to like reassess yourself is real transformative. And yeah, it's transformative.
Totally.
So I guess because you said that music is a way of expressing yourself, and these songs are of a darker, or some of them are darker nature, putting these out as an album, and then these are also, I guess, vulnerable in nature, I guess. Is showing that has that helped to share it with your listeners and I guess other people who want to listen to it?
I think that's part of the process, right? It's like helps complete the cycle of the therapeutic side of music, of just like writing, feeling, writing, playing, people listening, receiving, and then like giving something back. Yeah. So it is nice, I guess. And it's hard for me to be vulnerable, but it's a lot easier for me to be vulnerable through music. So yeah, it's part of it.
What is, like, in your opinion, what is the most emotional song on this album that you connect with? Like, or yeah, or what's let me just ask that again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or from your album, what is the most emotional song for you to have like composed and sung?
There's a couple, but I think All of a Sudden, which is the first track on the album, yeah, that one is very emotional for me. I have to be in like I have to tap into that emotion to even just perform it properly, especially sing it. The chorus is like very, I like yell in it. And when I was writing it, I was just like sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And it doesn't sound like a sad song, and it's not a sad song necessarily, but the content of it and the reason that I wrote it was very sad. And it's one that when I'm really down and out and I can't find a way out, I can play that one and it helps me like find the light again.
Yeah, All of a Sudden is a quite like a sparkling yet haunting introduction into the album. And yes, I did hear your vocal work there. That I think that's one of my favorite tracks on the album, because it did feel like you were in a vulnerable state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like great work on that.
Yeah. I had to like really push myself emotionally to get to that singing capacity. I don't know how to. The only way I know how to sing is to tap into different like emotional areas of my body. I'm not like trained as a singer. Even if someone like sings a note to me, it's not always easy for me to sing that note back until I find like where it lives within my body, so that one is, it takes a lot of emotional work to do.
So you're not like trained, like you're not like classically trained musician?
No, I took piano lessons when I was like 8 years old, and some guitar lessons like in my teenage years a little bit. But that's pretty much it. A little bit of singing lessons here and there, but it's not like I was never in a choir. I wish I was, but yeah. No.
It's all just self-taught?
Pretty much, yeah. But like I said, I did take some lessons here and there, and that obviously set the groundwork and the foundation for stuff, but I had to keep going on my own to get to where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we talk about the 2 tracks that have music videos to it?
Okay.
I guess the first one we can talk about is Heaven, which I believe it's the second track after All of a Sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a counterpoint to that track. Do you want to talk about that?
What do you mean by counterpoint?
I thought I read that it's more positive thoughts about
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
More positive thinking, I should say.
Yeah. It does feel like that. Like, it was actually written before, it was written in 2018, like before I started recording, whereas All of a Sudden was written like in the midst of my recording process sort of thing. So it was written last summer, whereas Heaven was kind of written the summer before. So I started recording the album with Heaven as like one of the songs that I wanted to record. So it was like kind of this, it felt happier because I had yet to like sink into the darkness of 2019, but there is still like this spookiness about it. The chorus still has this kind of like spooky angel sort of vibe to it, which I liked. And, it does, it does have this kind of more peaceful state about it.
And I guess that's kind of shows a bit in the video, which I actually believe it's one of your creations, like as part of a True Nature Media. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that your other side, creative side to you?
Yeah, I mean, I make videos for a living and take photos and stuff. And, I went to film school. So That's always been part of my life. And yeah, I like making music videos for myself. It's hard. Like editing the Heaven video took a long time, longer than any other music video I've ever worked on, because it was just so personal. It was like my song. I was starring in the video. I was editing it. I directed it. It was too much of me. And so I like couldn't quite like wrap my head around it or like really see it for what it was. Like it was really hard to be objective in that scenario. So yeah. But it was an enjoyable thing to make. It just took a long time.
Too many roles to
Too many
roles.
On. Yeah.
No, like that was it was a good edited video because I guess almost 2 years now, I've been like self-teaching myself like photography. And I guess the past years I've been trying to do more video for myself. And I can now like understand through me trying to do those things how it's really you've done. It was great a video that you were able to put together.
Thank you. Yeah.
Or I guess maybe you can talk about some of the imagery that you've put into the Heaven video and how that relates to the song.
Sure. Yeah, I wrote the song about kind of my relationship to the natural world, where like seeing the natural world as like a heaven or an idyllic place rather than some place up in the sky, or in a different universe or something. And so I wanted to incorporate that being out in nature, but also like with some sort of religious elements, because heaven is kind of a religious thing. And so there's some imagery of me in a church all alone and like kind of staring out the window. And then I'm immersed in nature and I'm like kind of, I shot it on Georgian Bay. So I'm like in the waters of Georgian Bay and I'm like doing all this like kind of tempesty, like Shakespeare inspired kind of stuff. And then really though, the wild of nature, like kind of puts its power over me. It takes control over me because I think as humans, we're the best. We rule nature. Nature is ours for the taking. We are the superior species, but like, I don't know if I really believe that. So I wanted to show that like, no, we're still part of it. We're still at the mercy of it. And we have to respect it, I guess. And that can be beautiful in itself. It's beautiful to have to respect it and treat it kindly and ask it for mercy on us, rather than the other way around.
Yeah, that's so true. Like nature is very connected and like overbearing on us all. And like we have to respect it, like I guess now more than ever.
Yeah, we should. we can.
I guess we're starting to do our best. We're trying.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. It's hard to change hundreds of years of work, but I don't know. We'll see.
Now for your other video, the other moon. That was also a very fascinating video. I guess because now like that really the sci-fi and space imagery and themes like connect with me really well, especially with this radio program being more of the out there kind of program. What are the things that you're trying to purvey in this song?
Just going to space. It's simply like that was like kind of the basis of the idea, but the other moon was a place that my Nolna, who passed away early last year, talked about going to when she died, and that's what the song is kind of about. And when we were deciding to make the video, and I made it with my best friend Dominique Benholm, who's a filmmaker in Toronto. She had this idea of like, you're going to space and we're going to like we're going to build a spaceship and you're going to go and we're going to have these like awesome shots of space. And what I really needed to channel for the performance of the video was like, why am I going to space? Like, what am I feeling about going to space? Is it like, can't wait, here we go, woohoo, this is going to be fun? Or is it like, and I think you can kind of see it in the video, I'm not necessarily like super stoked about it. I'm like, it's a sad thing, because it's a sad song, and or it's maybe not sad, but it's contemplative, and I wanted that to come across, even though the video is a little goofy and it's a little silly. It's very DIY. I go to space in the back of a U-Haul truck, so it's like obviously not super serious, but I wanted there to be this like serious element, which is the emotional side of the actual song. So it kind of feels like I was going to space to like say goodbye to my grandma, or find out where she went, maybe.
So it's a tribute, pretty much.
Yes, totally a tribute. Yeah, totally.
Well, that was pretty special.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if she would like it, but I'm sure she does. I think I can feel that she does wherever she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking down from the other moon right now, being like, "Good job."
Oh, so that's that. What kind of what she was saying as the other moon is the other side of life, I guess.
Yeah, the other place to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one part, I guess it's an interesting song structure, actually, for the other moon. I guess it's in parts, and the last part, I was really taken aback by the lyrics. All this time I've been living like I'm lost. Mm-hmm. That's really gripped me. Do you want to, or what does that mean exactly?
I don't know. Like, I do know, but I don't really know what to say. Yeah, I guess it was about being presented with a big life change in general, and not knowing what to do with that information, and not knowing how to cope with that information, and not knowing who you would be after this big life change. All this time I've been living like I'm lost. It was like, oh shit, I wasn't ready for this. I've been living like I haven't been preparing for this, or I've been living like, I don't know, I didn't know that this was coming when I always knew that it was, sort of thing. So I think that's where that came from, this place of like almost feeling like wasted time, or not having faith in yourself, right? Like, oh shit, I've just been just bumming around here, not figuring anything out.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Is there any other tracks that you want us to know about from the album?
No, I think people can kind of listen to it. Like, I'm curious to hear what songs people like. Like, I think as the artist, you always have different favorites than other people. I love track number 6, which is Make It Fade. I thought that would be one of the kind of standout singles, but it didn't end up being one. And I'm wondering if people like it. So if anyone does that's listening, let me know if you like Make It Fade. It's like very like 80s inspired, and also very emotional song, but really chill, groovy, like very plez. So yeah, I would love to hear what songs people like.
Oh, that's your incentive, listeners, to go listen to the album.
Yes.
I guess with that, why don't we now wrap up our talk? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah,
Sarah?
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
So I guess now are you planning to take maybe a little break from like with the album release, taking a little break, or what are your plans for Falcon Jane for the future?
Honestly, I'm a very plan-oriented person, like goal-oriented, as I mentioned before. So this has been hard, but I feel like 2020 has been the year of like, throw your plans out the dang window. Like, do not make a plan, because it will get just thrown in the garbage. So I'm not really like planning anything. I know we have a long, hard winter coming up. Maybe I shouldn't say hard. I don't like being negative before I have to be, but it's going to be an interesting winter, and we'll probably be spending a lot of time inside on our own. And I can see myself starting to record some music again. Because you have to remember, like Andrew and I put out a covers EP in the summer, but that was pretty quick turnaround. But I haven't really been like recording Falcon Jane music since it's been like over a year now, right? Because that's how long these things take to release an album or whatever. So I'm ready to get back into it. I've written some songs and I'm excited about that. And because that's a whole different part of my brain, like releasing the album and doing the release side of it is like one side of my brain, and the actual creation side of it is another side. So I'm excited to get back into that side once. But I knew I couldn't start anything until Faith was out in the world, and until I could like kind of let go of it a bit and step back from it a bit.
Awesome. Well, a lot of musicians have been doing live stream performances. Have you done that so far this year, or do you think that might be a possibility for the future?
I've done a couple like true live streams. I did like a handful of them in the summer, and I honestly just really don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't give me anything. And maybe it gives other people other things, but I would do it if someone really wanted me to. If someone was like, you should do it, I'd be like, yeah. And you know what? I did one with Bummeroo in Guelph in the summer, which was great. That was awesome. That's not the live stream I'm talking about. I'm talking about like me sitting in front of my webcam, like playing to no one, which doesn't feel great. But like the Bummeroo one, we had a couple camera people there. Someone was mixing the audio. It was really awesome. We did it at Otherwise Studios in Guelph. So I'd be down to do more stuff like that. But in terms of like, hopping on Instagram and like doing a live stream on Instagram, like until people are really asking for it, I don't think I'll do it, because it's, I don't need to. I don't think it doesn't give me the release that I'm looking for with playing live.
Yeah, you don't get that like physical, like person, like communal kind of exchange of energy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just stressful. You're like staring at your phone. You're like, and it's like one person watching, 0 people watching, 1 person watching. You're like, oh God. Like, it's just like, I hate numbers when they're presented like that. I love numbers, but I don't like numbers when I'm playing music, right? Like
you're already focusing on enough stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I am hoping to do like a performance video to celebrate the release of the album. And that will be like something that's shot, and then I don't know if it's going to be presented as like a live stream. It's not going to be live, but it'll be uploaded somewhere. I'm just getting my ducks in a row, trying to find trying to figure out how to play with a band under these circumstances. Maybe I'll just do it solo. So I don't know. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
or just do like an intimate acoustic like run through of the album.
Yeah, I could. I just feel like these songs, they were meant to be played with a band, and I know a lot of people say that, and I could totally do them on my own solo acoustically, but they like Heaven especially is like, and The Other Moon, it's like those are like big songs. I can play them on my own, but it's just not the intention behind them, right?
Doesn't have the same effect, is what you're saying.
No, exactly. I don't think I would really do them justice on my own. But we'll see. Like, that's something I'm thinking about. Hopefully I'll start making some moves towards that in December, and maybe January or February I could shoot something. So, yeah.
Well, that will be exciting to see that.
Yeah. Now that I've said it on radio, I better do it, because it's just been an idea in my head. Now, like, people will hold me accountable, which is good. I'm, like, goal-oriented. Got a goal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So how can listeners and viewers support you at this time, and where can find your music?
The music is everywhere. Just look up Falcon Jane. You can find it on Spotify, on Apple Music, all the streaming services, on Bandcamp. If you've got a few extra bucks this holiday season, I'd love if people have bought the album. It's available on vinyl and also on cassette tape. And also, if you don't want to play vinyl or cassette tape, doesn't hurt to just buy the digital album on Bandcamp. Send me $10 or whatever if you're really liking it. If you're going to listen to it a bunch on Spotify, like, share the wealth here. And and same goes for every independent artist right now. I think everyone's used to getting music for free, which myself included. It's so easy to go on Spotify and just listen to all your music for free and give your $10 to Spotify. But if you have the opportunity to purchase something that someone's been working really hard on, and $10 can go pretty far for an artist, and it can be pocket change for a lot of other people. So I think
it's more meaningful for listeners and fans to do it, like pay directly to the artist and support
totally
that way.
Yeah, and like, you don't want to seem money hungry, or you don't want to seem like greedy or grabby, but it's an interesting year. I hope the music industry shifts to be more supportive of artists and sustainable for artists, especially independent artists, because it sucks. But, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My last question for you, Sara.
Okay.
What are your words of wisdom that we can try and go by?
Mm-hmm. Have faith, man. Like, just have faith. Have faith in yourself. Believe in something bigger than yourself, and faith lends itself to trust. So just trusting people, trusting others, trusting the universe, or whatever kind of all-knowing being you might believe in. Because, it's really important every day to remind yourself that there's something to believe in, whether it's coming from within or externally. There always is.
Those are grand words, Sara.
But don't take my word for it. I mean, that's just being very on brand with my album. But it's something, like, I've been thinking about myself a lot lately, and especially in these uncertain times, we don't really have much else. Especially people that are hunkered down in lockdown, and you're alone, and whatever. Like, you're not alone. We're all out here, and call someone and send me an Instagram message or send me an email, and I'm here for you. We're all in this together. So
we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. Yeah.
Sara, it's been a pleasure to talk with you, I guess, for the first time and in this way. Hope to stay connected with you in the future.
Thank you, Nick. It's been really nice to talk to you, and it's great to get to know you a little bit and finally connect after years of hearing about you and listening to you.
Heaven is a place I've been spending my time in, living my life in. You are always there with me to watch the sun setting, rise again. I don't even need to dream all of my feelings so surreal. Nothing's ever gonna wake me up and out of this earth.